got sent to me on VHS. So this film must have come out like 2005 or something. And I said it would be great to try and organize a union at a fast food restaurant in the States. And so that was kind of the path I was going down for a potential sequel for Super Size Me. This was back in like 2008, 2009. And then, I was doing 30 Days. Then we did Where in the World's Osama Bin Laden. And then I started doing something like a Simpsons 20th anniversary special for Fox. And so everything just kind of kept getting punted down. So I said, well, let's just table this idea. It's somewhere down the line. We'll talk about it. And then when I got the idea for opening our own fast food restaurant and opening, a place, I was like, that's the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you said it's going to be opening, actually, we're recording this on the 10th of September, I think, right? It's Tuesday, September 10th.
Yes.
You're opening your restaurant on...
The restaurant will open tomorrow. There's a sneak preview tonight on the 10th for
stepped in it a little
press
bit.
Folks.
Okay,
That's right. And then tomorrow, September 11th, is the opening for the public. So it'll be open to everyone for the next 12 days, from 11 to 5 every day in the Flatiron District of New York City, 18 West 23rd Street.
I see. So it's more of a pop-up.
It's a pop-up for the next 2 weeks.
I see. Is it going to take it on the road or anything like that? Or
we may take it on the road. I mean, we've already been approached and have people who want to put it open full-time, who want to make Holy Chicken be something that's around forever.
What's your feeling about that?
My feeling is that if you could open a restaurant that could actually raise chicken better, like if we actually, because Jonathan, who's next door, Jonathan Buttram,
yes,
chicken farmer,
one of the farmers, we're going to bring them in a couple of minutes.
Jonathan and Zack, Zack raised our birds. Jonathan, who's a third generation chicken farmer, kind of gave us all this sage, chicken advice while we were raising the birds. Everybody wants to be raising chickens better. Everybody wants to figure out a way to actually make more chickens be free roaming. Free roaming is what you want your birds to be. Free range is a complete misnomer, as we talk about in the film.
Okay.
Very misrepresented. But the idea that your chickens actually go outside, roam around, scratch, eat bugs like chickens do is where you want the food system to go. And that's what all these guys want. So if you could open a place that is a quote-unquote kind of farm-to-table fast food restaurant, like we started in the film, that has food like this. I mean, all the buns came from local bakers and still come from local bakers. All the vegetables came from local growers. So there is a path there that is interesting if you can make the chicken side economical. And that's the problem is those birds are so expensive right now.
Right. Yeah. I understand. Right. Yeah. So therefore, of course, you have to charge accordingly.
Yeah, $50 chicken sandwich.
So you have the Flatiron.
Now that's worth pulling a gun on somebody. A $50 chicken sandwich. Now that's
yes. Give me all your sandwiches. The Flatiron rent also. I imagine.
Right. Well, yeah, especially that area, and for a pop up like what we're paying for rent to being in there, $45,000 a month they're charging us.
Wow,
to be in that place.
And,
ridiculous.
And what is what was the sandwich you mentioned before? You just said chicken.
No, I just said
you just said a chicken sandwich.
I said we're going to make a $50 chicken sandwich just to pay for the rent. Yeah.
No, I understand. But I'm saying, and for the free roaming.
Yeah,
bird.
For free roaming birds. Those birds, if you buy one of those birds from places that are already growing birds that way, they can cost upwards of $14 a pound. So to get a bird could cost you $30, $30 to $40, depending on how big it is. Which just for and that's an insane amount of money to pay for a chicken, especially when now folks can go down to Ralph's, or the Piggly Wiggly, and they can buy a whole chicken for $5,
Right, and this is what the film is grappling with, essentially. This bind we're in, supply and demand, but also just this conflict that we're in. What is the impetus for
the ethical quandary? Of our food system.
That's right,
because we are very much in a food
it's overwhelming.
System.
So
and it's out of sight, out of mind. We don't want to know. We'd rather not know. And we live in a world where we want it now. We want things fast, and we also want to believe that somebody's looking out for us.
Yeah, and the whole branding side of it, or the marketing side, is a better way to put it. Is terms, as you highlighted before, which placates our sense of responsibility to ourselves, to our community, that if you put the words like free range and organic on it, people can just sort of feel good about buying it, and they don't have to think about the broader issues because they feel like they've done their bit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I don't think that's lost to the manufacturers and the food business, the food industry, the chicken food industry specifically. So it's a worth seeing. There have been other films and documentaries specifically that have kind of dealt with this issue, but you really got into it by really in your typical humorous way of this idea of opening a restaurant, which seems like just insane idea, but it's a good vehicle for telling a very serious story, actually.
And it's a fun restaurant. Like when you come by, you're going to really enjoy coming by.
Yeah. Oh, what's the address again? Just so
18 West 23rd Street.
I noticed when I had been hitting pause and record so many times
right
at the beginning that I lost the first couple of minutes of and when we were talking rather seriously, all lost. It wasn't meant to be, but you did talk about just to reference it. I did ask you about your sort of self-exile.
Sure.
But I just wanted to know also before we bring the farmers in a couple of minutes, did you feel like coming out of that period as well that you felt unburdened and ready to take on?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the minute I mean, there's a lot of things that hurt me. That did not hurt me, but that upset me after what I did, because I hurt a lot of people, and people like friends and family, people who were close to me, people who worked with me that I put out of work. I had 65 people that worked at my company that were suddenly out of a job a week before Christmas, and so, part of what I've tried to do is, make amends to as many of those people as I can, try and move forward in a way that I feel is most beneficial to the people that I can help around me, the people that I feel like I need to, try to help moving forward. And I think that it's, I've now been, and I openly talk about, my sobriety. Today's like day 635 of my sobriety. And it's, those things are transformative. And it's continuing down this path of, and I'm somebody who's always tried to do what's right. I've always tried to do not only good work, but to be a good person. But I think there's a cultural shift that has happened that is necessary and needed to happen a long time ago. And part of what I wanted to, what I was trying to own up to was the fact that I recognize that I've done things in the past that I'm ashamed of, that I shouldn't have, that I'm sorry for, and that I ultimately, hope I can, push past as a person.
There are a lot of people also that were in a similar position. They didn't take that route. So I think it's great, and you were an example for hopefully others in that regard.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in awkward shift here.
Here comes our chicken farmers.
We're bringing
our chicken farmers are coming in the room right now.
Hi guys, Jonathan. I actually have mics. Let me just set it up. You are a restaurateur. I mean, that's a whole new skill set that you may never have predicted that you would have had.
It was the last, probably the last prediction that I had of where I would be taking any of my skills right now. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to introduce two of the farmers that are central to your film, Supersize Me 2, Holy Chicken. John, what's your last name, Jonathan?
Jonathan Buttram.
Jonathan Buttram and Zack Buttram. Do you know you have the same last name?
We caught that coming in. We're like, oh my gosh,
of course,
y'all are brothers. And we're looking at him like, no, this is my dad.
That's your dad.
The son. That's kind of how it works.
Gotcha.
And I look younger than him.
You guys look good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We should have tried.
That's why Morgan hang around with us. We make him look good.
That's right. I need all the help I can get.
You guys have a friendly rapport. I don't know. You guys get along well, and
it's like we raised a bunch of chickens and opened a restaurant together.
We think a lot. We think a lot because a lot of this materialized while he was on the farm.
That's right.
Oh, I bet. Oh, over a long period of time, right? Well, how did you guys originally meet in the sense of were you introduced?
Yeah, we started looking for people that would, kind of be the best folks for us to raise our chickens with. Right. Independent chicken farmers. Finding an independent chicken farmer is hard enough in America. That's one. Two, finding an independent chicken farmer who wants to be a part of a film is another bigger problem because it is an industry where you will get blackballed for speaking out.
You're become by default a whistleblower, right? We were talking about that for a few seconds. You are.
Sure. Yeah.
You stuck your neck out there. Was that something you ever considered?
Well, I started this about 15 or 16 years ago when I took over the job of president of the Alabama Contract Poultry Growers Association. So taking that job, I thought I had to take care of the poultry growers.
Uh-huh.
So that's where it started. Then it just escalated into something bigger that sort of destroyed our livelihood and stuff. But I'm going to keep on going, and Zach's probably going to take up this battle when I'm through.
And so that's when we discovered Jonathan was already this outspoken critic and somebody who'd been kind of fighting these windmills for so long. I was like, that's our guy. We got to reach out to him. And when we went down and met he and Zach and his family, their story is so heart-wrenching, but at the same time, pure Americana. I mean, these are guys who, third and fourth generation chicken farmers, guys who, believe like all of us that there's a great way to kind of feed our country, and at the same time doing it in a way that is sustainable and healthful. And I just loved everything that these guys are about.
Well, how did you decide to present Zack and Jonathan's story to make an entertaining documentary at the same time?
Yeah.
It could have been a very different kind of film.
It could have. I mean, it could have been incredibly sad, very maudlin, a super downer of a movie. And there are moments of highs and lows. I mean, good films, I feel like, take you kind of on a little bit of an emotional ride. And I feel like these guys are the heart of our story. Like, the heart of Super Size Me 2 Holy Chicken is very much their family and their story of chicken farming and all the chicken farmers that are in the film. I think that, when we started working with them, and we filmed everything. You film the whole process of raising the birds and opening the restaurant, and then it's just what are those pieces that are the most important of the process. And we worked with them to have them kind of explain the things that were kind of the most pivotal moments of raising birds along the way, and just making sure that we captured those really, really clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had concerns about being in the film. Is that safe to say?
We want to be heard all over the world, but there's danger. We've already had investigator come to my house, federal investigator, telling me my life was in danger. So, sure.
What kind of investigator?
A federal investigator.
Oh, federal, yeah.
So, sure. And then what I've done puts my family in danger too. So,
it's not so simple.
Not simple.
Yeah. Have you seen support from other farmers from anywhere? Maybe, I mean, not even within the United States. Have they reached out and contacted you?
Well, there were some Canadian farmers in Canada that came and saw the film, and they wanted me to come to Canada and speak, but they've never called me. But farmers in the United States will not back you because they will lose their contracts. I've all been threatened in our area not to talk to us, not to speak to us. They turn their back on us in the restaurants. We're not allowed on their farms. That was part of our Plan B income, was cleaning out chicken houses, and we've been banned from all that.
Zack, how much of this is also about allegiance to your father? Like your commitment now, it's personal.
Well, I mean, I got blackballed. I got told that I could not. I was discriminated against by a company just because of stuff he had done. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I've got my own vendetta against that. You don't do me wrong. Mm-hmm. I never done nothing to any of them. Mm-hmm. I was just looking for my shot at keeping our legacy going. And just because you got some egos in a company that think they control it when they really don't, they can flaunt what little power they got and try to keep their foot on top of me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at some point in time, it's going to change. I'll get my day.
There was a
holy chicken.
There is a lot of people out there that want to purchase food, eat responsibly. They just don't know. They just don't have the information, right? It's.
And we also have blind trust. I mean, that's the thing, is we trust that these other companies are looking out for us, that the USDA is looking out for us, that the government's protecting us in some way.
That's true.
And so that the labeling is accurate and representative of what we're actually buying. Mm-hmm. I think that. So, people want, and they're trusting in these things, but the regulatory agencies have so manipulated the system because there are foxes in the henhouse. That's what's happened. Like, you have people from the chicken companies who've gone to the regulatory agencies, who change the regulations, who then go back to work for the chicken companies. So it is this revolving door, and it's not just the chicken industry. I mean, it's the oil industry. It's it's across the board. This political corruption that has continued to kind of erode the protections we have as consumers. Mm-hmm. And I think that. Part of what we hope this film does is at least start to open people's eyes a bit into how these regulations are so misleading, and hopefully inspire some change where we can, motivate and get more chicken farmers actually out in a position where they can do the good work that both Jonathan and Zack are talking about.
So you're farmer spokespeople at this stage.
That's right.
You have to be, right? I mean, you don't have really other choice at this point. You have to kind of see it through all the way.
Yeah, we started this, so I'm going to see it through all the way, in 2010, when the Obama administration held the workshops around the United States, farmers were emboldened then, and the workshop, it was held in Huntsville, Alabama, or Norma, Alabama. These growers spoke out, and then the next year, a lot of them were terminated and beat down to the point they'll never speak out again. And that wasn't supposed to happen, because Eric Holder promised us that they would take care of us. Of course, they did draw up the rules and everything that protected us, called GIPSA rules. And then as soon as Trump appoints Sonny Perdue, which is a corporate man, came in. That was my
Wow.
my worst
Yeah.
nightmare. That when I found out, my heart
You
like
knew.
fell out.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did away with what that we had gained from the Obama administration and buried the Packers and Stockyard Act of 1921. It was supposed to protect us, buried it under another organization than the USDA. So, I mean, that's unbelievable that can even happen, because I'd love to shake Trump a little bit on that and see why he did that and why he put somebody in that was anti-farmer and pro-corporation.
Well, it's his. Seems to be his.
It seems to be the modus operandi these days.
Right. With everybody, he puts in only the best people.
Right, only the best.
In order to drain the swamp.
Us farmers are the best. They need to point some of us in there. We're common sense people that know how to handle things the right way and do people right.
Yeah.
No farmer's going to get in. They'll put somebody in and call them a farmer, but they're a corporation, because most of them, when they leave the USDA after presidents change, they all go to work for JBS.
JBS is?
They own Pilgrim's Pride. They're the largest packer in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, they're out of Brazil.
Wow.
That's where these farmers' soybeans that the tariffs have stopped, they're being bought up here at a low price, and then they're being hauled to Brazil and then sold to China at an inflated price on the farmer's back. Nobody even knows this. This is unreal. Why don't this make the news? Cargill's did the same thing the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
Get around the tariffs, and the tariffs is killing the farmers right now. Oh, they say it's going to be good later, but I can't see that.
And in the meantime, it doesn't help that you guys and people like
At
yourself,
all.
right?
At all.
And now you have to kind of speak out, and you're going to be talking to a lot more people. But is it really difficult to because it must just bring up a lot of aggravation and stress for you? I have to imagine. Or is there more of a sense?
I take a handful of blood pressure pills every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no joke.
It's stressful. I got to worry about my family too. I got to worry about my son that's standing here with me doing these interviews. I have to worry about him. These people will resort to mafia-style tactics. We call them the meat mafia is what we call them. They're dangerous.
Sure. I imagine you're feeling the same way about your dad, though. It's supposed to be these are supposed to be the years where he's be able to lean back a little bit, and he's have to now.
That is not
That's
Jonathan.
not
That is not Jonathan.
Yeah,
Buttram.
we come from a farm. You don't get those years to kind of sit back and take it back. You work to the day you die.
That's right.
Like there's no
It's
retirement.
like documentary
on the farm.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
almost.
that's right. You work up till the end with the camera in my hand.
Well, I think D.A. Pennebaker did go
All the way up
into
to the end. What a legend. Oh, it was very sad when he passed, but gosh, what a great guy.
Yeah, he was. Well, just to the risk of repeating, it's important to repeat this information. Go see Supersize 2. You can
Holy
tell from this.
Chicken.
Holy Chicken, excuse me.
Supersize Me Too. Holy chicken.
Holy Chicken. Praise the Lord.
From the comfort of your couch this Friday.
That's right. That's right. Or if you are
wanna go to a movie.
somewhat motivated, you could go to your local theater.
I think there's about 20 theaters across the country it's playing in this weekend, which
This
I
is
love
Friday.
seeing movies in theaters. It's awesome.
But
Sometimes you can't because you got kids.
that's right. Or
you're lazy.
Or you end up at the local restaurant.
That's right. Or you just, or if you're in New York, you could Grub Street in, a Holy Chicken sandwich and sit on the couch and
Are you
watch
guys
that while
delivering?
you watch the movie. Part of me feels like I may have to figure that out, like with the movie opening. That way we can get it to people's homes while they can just eat it and watch it. It's a good idea there. I got to get on that.
New Yorkers can
Uber will deliver it.
That's right.
What's that?
Uber will deliver it.
That's right. Uber Eats. Well, Uber Eats it to your house.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
The pop-up is going to be in New York City. It opens tomorrow, 18
Which
West
is
23rd Street.
The 11th.
Tomorrow, September 11th, if you're in New York City. And it's going to be open till the 22nd, so it'll be open for
And you're
the
going to
next
be
12
back
days.
there by the fryer? Or the
I'll
crisper?
I'll be doing it all. I'll be by the deep crisper.
The deep crisper.
That's right.
We have to remember. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best and the most luck. And
These guys deserve it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't say that lightly, so I'm right behind you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Karen,
sure.
getting the word out for us.
Oh,
That's all the farmers want.
Sure.
I'm the spokesperson for the farmers, and they want me to get the word out. They just can't tell anybody.
They're in the shadows,
Yeah,
but
they're in the
they
shadows.
do support what you're doing. Have you actually heard from people saying that in that way?
Yeah, they'll call
Like,
me up every
they will,
once in a while
okay.
and say, "Hey, you're doing a good job, but I can't speak out." And,
Because
and
they'll
it's
get
just a few-
blackballed. Because then they'll
Oh,
lose
no,
their
no,
jobs.
totally.
Then they'll lose their farms.
course.
Then it's like
Yes.
the chain reaction is unbelievable.
Yeah. And it sounds very swift and
They're involved in a lawsuit against a giant chicken grower because Jonathan's wife Connie was retaliated against because of the work that he was doing with me on the film. By just the fact he was talking to me, a chicken company retaliated against his wife and her chicken contract.
Oh.
You know, the farmer Charles Morris is also in the film, is involved in a huge class action lawsuit against Tyson. So there is an uprise that's happening right now with where chicken farmers are finally feeling a moment to speak out, step up, and hopefully this film can continue to give people some motivation to do that
and contribute in some way. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it very much.